You are not stuck because you lack discipline. You are stuck because you are operating from a version of yourself that is not even true. Nobody told you that. Most people fight circumstances, very few question identity. Here is the real impediment to success: false identity. If you see yourself as small, you will sabotage expansion. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will repel stability. If you see yourself as separate from power, you will chase it your entire life. This is why I wrote my books. Created for Success, which became an Amazon best-selling book; Rediscovering Identity; Gain Wisdom, Gain Wealth. All three address the same root issue: not lack of effort, not lack of opportunity, but distorted self-awareness. Until identity is corrected, success feels temporary. Let me show you how this works. Two people receive the same opportunity. One builds momentum, the other collapses under pressure. Same market, same timing, same information, different identity. You do not rise to your goals, you return to your self image. That is why some people earn money and cannot keep it, why some gain visibility and sabotage relationships, why some hustle constantly and still feel behind. It is not bad luck, it is internal programming. Before you ever chase success, you were taught what someone like you should expect. Here is the subtle part: you defend that ceiling without realizing it. You call it realistic, you call it practical, you call it protecting yourself. But it is inherited limitation. Until identity is questioned, breakthroughs collapse back to familiar levels. That is not punishment, it is psychological gravity. Identity is not just a belief, it is an operating system. It governs perception. Perception governs decisions. Decisions govern outcomes. If your identity associates success with pressure, you delay it. If your identity associates wealth with guilt, you destabilize it. If your identity associates visibility with danger, you shrink. Most people call this personality. It is programming. In Created for Success, I explain being before doing, because doing without identity alignment creates exhaustion. In Rediscovering Identity, I examine how much of what you call yourself was inherited unconsciously. In Gain Wisdom, Gain Wealth, I explain that wisdom is internal authority, the ability to govern perception before perception governs you. Now hear this clearly. This is not your fault. You were conditioned before you were conscious. You absorbed beliefs before you examined them. You inherited ceilings before you recognized them. This is not about blame, it is about awareness. Awareness is power. Once you see the operating system, you are no longer unconsciously run by it. You are not broken, you are programmed. Programming can be examined. Imagine someone who grows up hearing that money is hard to make, that comfort is dangerous, that people like us do not get ahead easily. They absorb it. Years later, they succeed. Instead of relief, they feel anxiety because their identity was calibrated for survival, not expansion. So they hesitate, they overspend, they doubt themselves, not because they lack ability, but because success violated familiarity. They were not protecting failure, they were protecting familiarity. Familiarity feels safe, even when it is limiting. Until identity shifts, progress feels unnatural. And what feels unnatural gets resisted. Pause for a moment. If you removed fear, if you remove the inherited ceiling, if you remove the version of yourself that feels realistic but small, who would you be? Let that question settle. Because once you see the ceiling, you stop defending it. That is where wisdom begins. Wisdom is not hype, it is internal authority. It allows you to govern perception before perception governs you. This is why I wrote Gain Wisdom, Gain Wealth. Not to motivate you, not to flatter you, but to correct the operating system. When identity stabilizes, income stabilizes. When awareness rises, anxiety decreases. When internal authority strengthens, external chaos loses control. You do not have a money problem, you have an identity problem. Identity problems cannot be solved with hustle. They require examination. Do not chase another tactic. Correct the foundation. If you are ready to question the operating system running beneath your effort, read Gain Wisdom, Gain Wealth. The link is in the description, it is in the pinned comment, it is in the banner. This channel exists for restoration. Welcome to Dominion Come, home of the I Am movement. Welcome home.